Let's try that again. Colleagues and friends, this has been a wonderful experience, and I promised myself that I would get a Kenyan wristband before I left. So it's nice to have one. This place really is close to my heart. Right, I was invited to give some closing remarks on where SRCTs go from here, and you gave me quite a bit of time, but I said no. And I'm glad I asked for less time because what the both of you have presented, what Juliet and Rose mentioned as well, I think speaks directly to the success of I4C. So well done for that. But as with all good things, we are coming to the end of this conference. And I was asked to briefly reflect on where the special report on climate change in cities will go from here and why the conversations we've been having matter so much. So practical terms first. The next steps are clear. Once the review comments hopefully will be submitted soon from the conference, and the deadline is 3rd of July. Our very hard-working author teams, some of them and I in this room, and bureau members will carefully read and respond to all the comments received. It is part of the IPCC process. We will then meet for the final lead author meeting for the report taking place in Mopao, India, in early August. 12 weeks later, the final draft is expected to be submitted for review by governments. And then that's the full report, including the summary for policymakers. That will go on for review early 2027. The report is then scheduled for approval in Singapore during the week of 15th of March 2027. So a few things. For those of you with urban climate research that's nearly ready, under review or close to publication, and I saw a few pieces around the conference over the past few days, please remember the cutoff date for accepted literature is 15th of October this year. If your work can inform SRCTs, now is the time to get it published into the literature database. And I want to acknowledge in that spirit the I4C team and partners, all 90 of you, for helping bring the excellent GRAA book to publication in time. Thank you for that. This has already been quite a long journey. You heard on Monday that it started 10 years ago here in Nairobi, and now we're moving towards the final stages of the report. Bob Vandenberg, my brother from another mother in Working Group 2 as co-chair, and my other co-chairs, and I helped to captain the good ship as RCTs towards this final harbour in Singapore. And we are deeply grateful for the fantastic author team, reviewers, contributors, everyone in this room, for trying, working so hard to keep this ship moving forward. But this report is not carried by the authors alone. What you have said over the past few days has been shaped by collaboration, co-creation and partnerships across the entire I4C community. You have helped to build the ship, you have helped to point us in the right direction, and you have encouraged the teams to keep going, especially when, to be frank, the geopolitical headwinds that we've been seeing so far is not in our favor and is affecting everybody in the space. So many parts of this conference have been relevant to the report, very valuable as well to the broader urban climate agenda. Where do I start? We heard about informality, we heard about the importance of climate justice and equity, how to look into reducing urban climate risks and emissions in African cities and elsewhere. We talked a lot about partnerships with public and private sectors that can unlock the finance for urban resilience. We heard a bit about the recent advances in artificial intelligence through the hackathon in IMED and elsewhere. And also the importance of governments, communications, communities, youth, and the next generation of urban leaders, which are in this room. So this is an important step to get this community to collaborate together. So I would add, this discussion matters not only for the review process, but also for climate action more broadly. It connects with broader urban climate conversations that took place last month in Wolf, and this month in Bonn and in Singapore and elsewhere, and in the weeks ahead towards COP31. They also remind us why this work is so urgent. Cities are already facing the realities of a warming world. We're seeing this right now. Our good friends in Western Europe and in London are suffering from that, the heat wave. But as Liliana pointed out as well, El Nino is coming our way, and we are going to see the realized risk as current impacts in a world that will go past 1.5. And finally, these conversations will matter even after the good ship as our cities reaches the harbor. As I was told and I listened, what many have said over the past few days, the key messages, the most important science-based, policy-relevant findings from this report must reach local communities in ways that support new action after March 2027. So we know what is at stake. Listening and learning from the I4C participants here have strengthened my confidence that the knowledge, the networks and partnerships that are shared here in Nairobi will turn evidence into urgent action after March of next year. So thank you for your energy, your generosity and your commitment in this project. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Winston. At this time, I want to come back to one of the things you said right at the beginning, Winston, of your remarks, which is that soon, apparently, the second order draft review comments would be submitted. Diana, can I kindly ask you to join us up on stage, please, because I think that moment is sooner than some folks might think. Just to share a few numbers, let's welcome Diana onto the stage. Thank you so much. Welcome. For a few numbers, more than 500 comments, over 100 reviewers, more than 100 organizations in total. This is just a snapshot of the people and places behind the largest ever in-person organized review of the special report on climate change in cities. So deep and thorough has the work been that we have a landmark moment right here and right now. Leah, do you want to do the honor?
Oh, I get to do the honors. Can we get a drum roll, please? So we have our colleagues working in the background. Now, a drum roll, come on. The Innovate for Cities organized review has officially been submitted. Office to make sure that all of these comments will be incorporated into the final draft. So good luck.
Let's just reiterate as well before the lead authors leave in dire straits that part of the value of this was to bring all of you together and to come under one umbrella to, again, share in both the diversity and the depth of your comments, but also to ensure that we're also streamlining that opportunity and raising that accessibility to all of you. So thank you to you who've been part of the SOD review, and thank you, of course, to the lead authors who are working tirelessly to pull this together.
And thank you to the IPCC for their guidance on supporting us and making this happen, and really providing that procedural guidance along the way. And I think we should also thank the team who I think worked until 3 a.m. last night.
Very late.
In consolidating all of these comments. So a big shout out to the team who made all of this happen last night, so we can have this official submission button in bright, beautiful yellow up on the screen.
Amazing, indeed. Maybe if we could just ask for a photo together with Winston and Diana. There you go. You can take a selfie, Diana, if you like.
You want to take a selfie?
Indeed.
And I'm going to do something because this 4 has been with us in Montreal, and I think we have a picture with the 4 in Montreal, so I want to repeat that.
Come into the middle. Nice.
We need to move it over here.
Yeah, we'll be there, and then we can come this way. There you go.
Huyu kamera amekataa kutuma pin.
Sensor camera. All right, the awkward moment with the host. Amazing.
Thank you both so much.
Appreciate it. Of course. Now, it wouldn't be fitting if we didn't, thank you so much both, please. If we didn't give a very specific shout out to just a few people who really